Is that same? No. Okay. So this is illuviation. Okay. So what happens? This is the topsoil. Okay. This is just the layer. Leaves are humus. Okay. But the plants have their roots in this soil. A. Okay. It here anchors the soil and prevents it from soil erosion. Okay. So what happens when the raindrops fall? He has some elements, some minerals, they go down. Okay, to the bottom layer. So when they go down, this layer is devoid of these minerals. When there are few minerals like iron, okay, they go down and then they accumulate here. So this zone is called zone of illuviation. Okay, and this process is called leaching, and this zone is called zone of illuviation, ILL, because it leaves behind these minerals. ठीक है sir? You don't have to complicate too much. Just know the process and just familiarize yourself with the names. Okay, like we don't have to remember all those landforms of glacier, landforms of wind, but we are familiar. Do you remember some of the landforms of glacier? By erosion? Ki hoy? Glacial erosion or landforms? U-shaped valleys, very good. Cirques, very good. Arids, town lake, then hanging valleys, some of the erosional features of glacier. So we don't have to remember, but when you see, you will recall. So same here. Okay, you don't have to stress. Oh, this name is so difficult. Oh, I don't know, this term is so difficult. Just don't stress too much. Okay, just listen. So what happens? যেতিয়া কি হয় বৰষুণৰ পানী যেতিয়া পৰে, when rainwater hits the ground, soil, what happens? Some of the elements, minerals, they go down. They go down the soil further, and that process is called leaching. Okay, and the layer in which it goes, that layer is called layer of illuviation. Okay, then we have some other layers like bedrock and parent rock. Okay, so what soil to keneke hoy originally? So what is weathering? What is weathering? Weathering is the breaking down or disintegration of rocks in situ. That means in its own place. So this is soil formation is one of the effects of weathering, okay, or erosion. So erosion is ki hoy, the weather material is transported, to some other place. Okay. So what happens? So that is how, and then there are many factors how soil is formed. Okay, like the main parent rock to ki hoy. Then we have time. Kiman time aloke weathering hoise, that one. Then slope, thin soil and thick soil. Okay, all these are factors of soil formation. Okay, so now we have, see, we say that that alluvial soil is fertile. Why? Because the river brings alluvial soil every year, and it brings new fertility. Okay, and then we say that some kisuman sandy soil hoy. Sandy soil, can you give an example of sandy soil? Where do we find sandy soil? Desert areas, no? We find sandy soil. So what is the characteristic? It just water drains down, right? Okay. Then another soil is clay soil. Are you familiar? We make idols, no? Clay, right? So what is the characteristic of that clay soil?
It binds or it holds water.
It holds water, no? It sand, clay and loamy, they seem similar, right? But see, there is some difference. See, based on the proportion of particles, soils are classified into. See, if the particles are bigger, it is called sandy soil. If the proportion of fine particles is higher, then it is clay soil. And then if large and fine particles are about the same, it is called loamy soil. Okay. So, see, sandy soils are light, well aerated. What is the meaning of aerated? Well aerated and dry. What is the meaning of aerated? Air. Well aerated. Okay. And clay particles are much smaller and not well aerated. Okay. They have high water retention. We all know this. Okay. Alright. See, loamy soil is a mixture of sand, clay and silt. Okay. Mostly occur in the riverbeds. The loamy soil also has humus in it. What is humus? Organic matter, no? Which is found in the soil. Okay. See, clay and loamy soils are both suitable for growing cereals like wheat, gram. Such soils are good at retaining water. And for paddy, we have soils rich in clay and organic matter. Okay. Alright. Now see, we have some features of soil. Soil texture. Okay. We have clay, sand, silt. Okay. All these are according to the particle size. Then we have soil air. Okay, how much aerated the soil is. Okay. So that will depend if it can be waterlogged or not. Then we have soil moisture. See, just read this. In damp climates, especially in high latitudes where evaporation rate is low, water tends to move downward, particularly in coarse-grained sandy soils. This dissolves the soluble minerals. See, and carries both downward, a process called leaching or alluviation. So what is alluviation? It is the downward movement of soluble minerals, okay, in the soil. So what happens if there is rainfall, but in some areas, okay, like if it is very hot areas, what happens? There is more evaporation. Even water tolota holeo, it will move out in evaporation, it will dry out. Okay. So then what happens? There is a process. This is called, what is it called? And then when the evaporation rate is higher, it will leave behind salts. And then the land will become infertile for cultivation. So this mostly happens in desert areas and the areas which have higher use of fertilizers. Okay. And northwestern parts of India, this is a major problem. ठीक है sir? Okay. Then soil color. So we have already done that when we dig, what happens? We see a different color, no? We go down, we see a black, dark color. Okay? So soil color is determined by the amount of organic matter. Okay? Then we have soil pH, whether acidic or alkaline. Then soil profile, which is a vertical section. Okay? Look at this diagram. Soil horizon. Look at this diagram. O horizon. See? It's just vegetation. Very thin layer. Then we have the A horizon. Dark, organically rich mineral horizon. Zone of weathering. Okay. Then next is a little lighter. and the last horizon is the regolith or R horizon, mainly the solid bedrock. Okay. See, O horizon is part of the topsoil which is dominated by organic material or humus. It has undecomposed matter such as leaves, mosses, lichens. Okay, A horizon is part of the topsoil, and this layer is depleted of, see, iron. See, soft enough to hold water and air, and germination of seeds take place here. Okay, and it supports organisms. And see, this layer is depleted of iron, clay, aluminium, organic compounds, and other soluble constituents. Okay, downward movement. And next here is the E horizon. E stands for alluviated layer. Again, it is devoid of clay, iron, aluminum oxides. Then we have the B horizon or the subsoil, which is the zone of alluviation, process of alluviation. And see, thus iron, clay, aluminium compounds accumulate in this zone. See, accumulate in this zone, resulting in formation of hard pans. Can you see hard pans? So similarly, in the dry areas, this area is called salt pans. Due to capillary, there is a process for capillary action. The water moves up and then it evaporates, and then the salts are left behind. Okay, so it's called salt pans. See, hard pans. Okay. Then we have the parent rock. See, large. Some are broken, some are not, and the last layer is the bedrock. Okay. So the soil will have the top soil at the top will resemble soil at the bottom, bedrock. Okay. So see, factors affecting soil formation we have already done. Kiki hoy. What are they? Factors. Parent material. You don't have to explain. Parent material you already know. Then what is the other factors? Climate, topography, relief, living organisms, time. Okay. All right. Let's come to this major soil types of India. Let's come to this map. Okay. So, what are the major soil types of India? Kiki hoy? Alluvial. Can you just read this out loudly so that we are familiar with the names? What are they? Number 1 is? Number 2 is? Number 3 is? Number 4 is? Laterite or? Number 5 is? Number 6 is? Number 7 is? Number 8? Peaty and marshy soils. Okay. Okay, let's begin from the top one. Number 1, alluvial soil. We don't have to explain. We know what is alluvial soil. Alluvium brought in by the rivers, deposits. Where will it be found? Just try to guess and then we'll just go through the text. Okay. Where will it be found? On the plains, major plains. Okay. Plains of the rivers, river banks. Okay, alluvial soils. Okay. Will it be good for agriculture? Will this soil be good for agriculture? Yes. Okay. Will you be able to identify which areas the alluvial soils are found? Okay, river banks, river valleys. That's it. Okay. Next, come to black soil. You already know what is black soil also called as? Regur. Also called as?
Cotton soil.
Very good. Black cotton soil, isn't it? So that means what? It is suitable for?
Cultivation
of cotton. What is the main feature of black soil? Volcanic origin. Deccan tracts. Volcanic volcanic origin, slow lava. Okay. All right. Very good. What is the other characteristic? In the dry season, it gets very dry. It develops cracks.
Cracks.
It develops cracks and it leads to aeration. Okay. But if it gets little bit of moisture, it just expands. So that means it has lot of water holding capacity. Okay. That is another feature. So where is black soil generally found in India? Deccan Peninsula. Okay. All right. The next soil is red soil. Ki hoba pare? Can you just guess? So we already know two to three lines of each of these. Okay, and then we'll discuss again. Okay, red soil. Okay, red because of presence of iron. Then any other idea about red soils? Okay, we'll go through again. Then laterite soils. What is the meaning of laterite? Later comes from the word later. Brick. Okay, laterite means brick. So what is this? Soil. It is very
It is used for making ita.
yes. It is used for making
Bricks.
bricks. So that means what? It has to be very hard, no? If we have to make bricks, it has to have that capacity. It has to have that capacity. Laterite. Where do you think we find this kind of soil? Okay, very high temperature. So we have lot of lateral soil in northeast. Okay. Next we come to forest and mountain soils. So we don't have to. No, we already know. Mountain soil means what? It will be found in the mountain areas. That means what? It will be found in the slopes. That means what? The soil profile will be very thin. It won't be very thick profile. Okay. Let's come to the arid and desert soils. What can it be? Dry, sandy, light color. Then well aerated, as we already did. Dry and desert soils. Okay. All right. Next we come to saline and alkaline soils. Where will we find this? Saline and alkaline soils. Saline means what? Salty. Salty. Okay. We'll find this where there is sea near the coast. Then we have peaty and marshy soils. Where will we find this? Peaty means what? Peaty and marshy soils means buka type, no? Heavy rainfall areas, no? Swampy areas, where we'll find trees submerged, like that kind of soil, peaty and marshy soils. Okay. All right. Let's go through the soils again. Alluvial soil. See, alluvial soils. They are the largest soil group covering 46% of total land area. Okay. So why is it formed? Mainly due to the silt deposited by the Indo-Gangetic Brahmaputra river. Then they are also found in the other river valleys like other peninsular rivers. Alright. Then they support, see, more than 40% of India's population are providing the most productive agricultural lands. What are the characteristics? They have mature weak profiles due to recent origin. Most of the soil is loamy. Sandy and clay soils are not uncommon, and they are pebbly and gravelly soils. They are very rare. See, look at this term called conker. Can you see this? What does it mean? Lime deposits. Okay. They are present in some regions of this soil. Okay. See, this soil provides good drainage. conditions favorable for agriculture. And they are constantly, why is it so fertile? Because they are constantly replenished by recurrent floods. See, the proportion of nitrogen is low, but potash and phosphoric acid alkalis are addictive. You don't have to remember these things. What is low, what is high, just get an idea. What are the crops? Mostly the major crops, paddy, wheat, rice. Okay, alright. Let's come to black soils again. See, mostly which are the places, which are the states of Deccan area? Maharashtra, Karnataka. See, this area is the black soil. Okay. So what are the areas? Maharashtra, Karnataka, Andhra, Gujarat. Okay. See, the parent material is volcanic rocks. Okay. Then we have what are the characteristics? See, a typical black soil is highly clayey. Clayey means what? It has high water retention capacity. And look at this. In the rainy season, the soil gets very sticky. And hence plowing and other agricultural activities demand more effort. And in the summer, the moisture evaporates and the soil shrinks and develops cracks. Okay? Which permit oxygenation. Okay? What are the soils again? What is this also called as Regur and black cotton soils? What are the major crops? Again, mainly cotton, then other crops also, like wheat, jowar, linseed, etc. Okay. Let's come to red soils. What is the red? Again, few areas of Tamil Nadu, again, Karnataka, mainly scattered areas. Okay. Then see characteristics due to presence of iron, like you already said, iron oxide. And when it has more water, when the red soil has more water, it becomes yellowish. Okay. Alright, let's come to the crops. If you proper fertilizers are given, then we have good yield of different crops. Okay. Then we have this soil is mainly acidic. Okay, red soil. And most of the soils you will find are poor in nitrogen. Okay, that's why what? We have the nitrogen policy, isn't it? Fertilizer policy, where we give nitrogen. Okay, urea. And what is urea? The main component is nitrogen. Okay, to replenish the fertility of the soil. So then we have lateritic soil. As you know, laterite soil, continuous stretch of Western Ghats, Eastern Ghats, all these hill ranges. Okay. And see, they develop in areas with high temperature, high rainfall, with alternate dry and wet periods. Intense leaching. Okay. See, the characteristics keyhard means break in Latin. They harden on greatly on losing their moisture. Okay, they are also red in color due to little clay and more of red sandstones. Again, it is also poor in nitrogen. See, laterite soils provide valuable building material. Okay. Then we have, what are the crops? Again, suitable for plantation crops like tea, coffee, rubber, coconut, etc. Then we have forest and mountain soils. Mainly heterogeneous, means different components. Okay. Formation of these soils mainly governed by characteristic deposition of organic matter from the forest. What kind of forest is there? From that we have the forest soil. Okay. In the Himalayan region, such soils are mainly found in valleys, which are less shedding. Trees will shed their leaves. That means what? There will be a thick layer of organic matter, humus. So it is rich in humus. Okay. Then what are the crops for forest mountain soils? Again, some plantation crops. Okay, and then some fruits, horticulture. Then arid soils, we already know, we have already done in the southwest part or northwest part of India, and also in the rain shadow area. So what does this is also formed due to desertification and deforestation. So what will be the main feature? No organic matter, very poor. Then nitrogen is generally low. Again, it is low in most of the soils. Then what are some dry agriculture, dry farming. What are these? Drought resistant and salt tolerant crops. What are they? Barley, cotton, maize. Okay, these are hard crops. All these are found here, can be grown here. Then saline, alkaline soils. So these are found in canal irrigated areas. So if there is high irrigation also, there can be a problem. Okay, we say that irrigation is good for agriculture, but if it is too much of canal irrigation, then also we have this problem of saline and alkaline soils. Okay. So see, these soils have more salt content because of dry climate and poor drainage. Okay. They occur in arid and semi-arid areas. Where are these found? See, Gulf of Khambat, affected by the sea tides. Tapi, Mahi. The coastline, saline waters. Okay, all these areas will have saline and alkaline soils. Okay, so they will have a layer of these salts, efflorescence, called of sodium, magnesium, calcium salts. This is not fit for agriculture. Then we have peaty and marshy soils found in areas of high rainfall, high humidity, rich humus. Rich humus and organic content. Where will it be? In the Terai region, because Terai region is the peaty region, peaty marshy region. See, northern part of Bihar, which is mostly Terai region. Then southern part of Uttarakhand, okay, parts of West Bengal, all these areas. And in Kerala's Kottayam and Alappuzha district, it is called, this peaty marshy soil is called as Kari. Alright, look at these terms. Alluviation. What is it? Transport of soil material from upper layers to lower horizons by downward percolation of water. Then alluviation is accumulation of materials coming from upper layers in the water. From up to bottom, it is called alluviation. Okay. What is the characteristic of peaty marshy soils? High organic content, humid regions, then heavy, lacking dark color. Okay. Some of these can be used for paddy cultivation. Alright. Next, let's come to the economic geography part. So, what are the three sectors of the economy? Primary, secondary, tertiary. These are the main. Alright. What is the primary sector? Consists of agriculture, forestry, okay, related to raw materials, no, which are being directly sourced from the nature. Okay. Okay. Then we have, what do we have in secondary sector? Manufacturing industry. So, from primary, if agriculture, rice cultivation is a primary activity. Then milling, taking that paddy into the mill, it is called as secondary. It will be because we are adding value to the primary product and processing it into a high value product, which we can consume. So that is secondary. What is tertiary? Service industries. Like example,
Hotels, hospital,
banking,
restaurants,
restaurants, education, hospitals, health services, IT. Okay? All these are tourism. All these will come under service industry. Okay? Alright. So see, primary activities where humans engage in different activities to